Good morning, beloveds. I just tried to sneeze my face off, so get a drink of water and see if I can do this. I thought I'll get up early. I'll get a shower. I'll go to church early, and because Danielle's was gonna come and clean out the fridge because we didn't have power at the center for a few days. I did get up kind of early, but I'm still moving slow. And I rested yesterday, so I'm like, apparently my body's going, you need a little bit more rest. Yeah. All right. Got a short one today. It is June 25th. Our title is Jesus' Reverence. Our author is Ada B. Fay, and it is from The Evolution of the Ten Commandments from 1937. Jesus' reverence for the scriptures of his people was always apparent in his teachings. They formed the source of his inspired faith in God and people. With his understanding, born of deep study and faithful living, the spirit of truth was revealed to him, and by virtue of his integrity with the truth he had discovered, fulfilled not only prophecy, but the complete work of a spiritual Messiah. All through his career, he displayed a sense of proportion, a spiritual efficiency unequaled among people at the time. He was both wise man and prophet, but greater than either. He in every way surpassed every lawgiver, seer, sage, and prophet, because he spoke for all generations, past, present, and future. And I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that one. Outside of reminding you that sacred literature is that. And the value that you get out of sacred literature is what you put into it. They talk about Jesus. He was a rabbi. His role was to teach. And his role, which meant he had to study a lot. Because there's that whole missing part of his where like he's either 10 or 12 when he goes to the temple, and then you don't hear anything about him until he's 33 and he starts his ministry, right? So what was he doing in the intervening 20 or so years? He was studying the sacred literature. And that's what Ernest Holmes did as well. Ernest Holmes studied sacred literature. Now, Ernest Holmes studied a lot of sacred literature. He read Buddhist, and he read Islam, and he read Hindu, and he read just anything he could get his hands on. And what he said was, you know what? Hey, there's this common thread running through all of these sacred literatures. But he also, because he grew up in a Christian, Western Christian era, he leaned heavily into the Bible, and he absolutely loved Jesus. And Jesus, because Ernest Holmes is constantly quoting Jesus, which is a good thing, because Jesus, as Ada says, is, he had, what was it that she said? Reverence for the sacred literature of his people. And honestly, I think the best thing that we can do is have reverence for sacred literature, even if it's not our tradition. Treat holy books as holy, no matter what tradition they come out of. And if you are interested in them, then read them and learn about them and speak to teachers of them, and don't take them out of context. I just saw a meme from the Clergy Coaching Network that said, I can prove anything with a verse taken out of context. So, and Reverend Norm was big on that. He was like, you know what? You want to know, when somebody quotes the Bible at you, go read a few lines before and a few lines after, because the way that they're using it may not have anything to do with the context that it came in. So use sacred literature with integrity. Study it. And remember that one of the most amazing things that you can do with sacred literature is remember that they are metaphors, and that one of the best ways that you can get the most out of them is to take, when they tell you a story, see yourself as every character. How are you this way when this character does this? Esther, the book of Esther is a good one to do that with. In the book of Ruth too, but with Esther, how are you the king who's kind of a little bit oblivious of what's going on? How are you his, and I can't remember what that it's not a chamberlain, who was a little greedy. And then how are you Esther, who was faced with this terrible choice of saving her people and revealing her heritage to a king who may not be sympathetic to her? How are you Esther's uncle, who did what he was supposed to do and reminded Esther of who she was? How are all of those parts of you? And then what can you do to make the king a little less oblivious? And what can you do to make the king's man a little less greedy? That kind of thing. But treat it with integrity. Study it. Read it. It's like, I've read pretty much all of the Bible. Pretty much all of it. I can't say that I've read it all because different traditions have different books. And so I may not have read every single book out there, but I've read it. And it's always interesting to have conversations with people who are quoting hard, like they're quoting hard faith, and they've never read the Bible. It's like, so you're going to quote a Bible quote at me, but you've never read the book that it came out of. I'm not going to have this conversation with you. So, that's what Ada is talking about. It's like, his reverence, Jesus' reverence for the scriptures of his people, they formed the source of his inspired faith. He studied. He knew his traditions. He could quote his sacred literature. His understanding born of deep study and faithful living. So it's like, not only did he read it, but he lived it. He lived it. And his integrity in the truth that he had discovered fulfilled not only prophecy, but completed the work of spiritual Messiah. So all through his career, he displayed a sense of proportion. Okay? A sense of proportion. That's very important. Sometimes we'll get that. We'll lean on that one quote, and that's the only quote. And it's like, and then we just blow it all out of proportion. So sense of proportion is super important. A spiritual efficiency unequaled among people of the time. He was both a wise man and a prophet, but greater than either of those, because he did his work. He did his work. He did his spiritual work. He studied and he lived, and he studied and lived his truth. And that is the greatest example that we can take from Jesus. He studied and lived his truth. He studied his sacred literature. We can do no less. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to study our sacred literature. Study it. Don't take it out of context. Go when you are interested in a Bible quote. Go and read the chapter that it came out of. Read it, if nothing else, read a few lines before and a few lines after. But read the chapter it came out of. Read the book it came out of. I mean, some of those books are long, but some of them are short. Micah's 4 pages. Isaiah's 154. Which may be a slight exaggeration, but not by much. So go and read your sacred literature. Read it with reverence. Study it. Put yourself in the character's shoes. And let it teach you what it can teach you. Let it reveal its truth to you. And treat all sacred literature with respect. If you choose to read sacred literature from another tradition, then go and talk to people whose tradition it is. I have read not all of the Quran, but I've read a significant portion of the Quran. And when I did so, I was in a class with a Sufi imam, a teacher, so that we could ask him questions, because I'm not going to Google it. but I'm going to go and ask somebody whose tradition this is. What does this mean? So go and read your sacred literature. Treat all sacred literature with respect. Because some of the Hindu stuff is fascinating, and I encourage you to go read it. Learn about other people's sacred traditions. It will inform your own. All right, and hopefully serve to make us all less narrow-minded. That is the mission today. The other mission that I give you is the same mission I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. Big, small, doesn't matter. Point is to practice on yourself. My reason for encouraging you to do it every single day is because what I want to do is encourage you to create a well-worn path to the source of your own being. I want you to create a habit that is so deeply ingrained that connects you to the infinite source of love, kindness, and compassion that no matter what happens in your life and around you, you can respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately to yourself and to everyone around you. All right? That's my goal. It is self-care. I am not even hiding the fact that it is self-care. It is absolutely self-care. If we want to live a life of service, if we want to make this a better world, then we start with ourselves. We start doing the inner work, just like with sacred literature. You start with yourself. Read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. Don't rely on other people's interpretations. Go and read it for yourself. It may be the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself, because you are going to see things that people are not going to tell you. And for a variety of reasons. One, maybe they didn't notice it. And two, a lot of people with sacred literatures have agendas. So go read it for yourself. Honey, I grew up Catholic. This is why I recommend it, because we were not encouraged to read the Bible. And it's fascinating. Okay, but what does love, kindness, and compassion on yourself look like? It can look like taking a deep breath before you speak. It can look like taking a nap. It can look like taking a walk. It can look like eating dessert first. It can look like not saving the good stuff. Wearing the nice clothes, eating the good food, drinking the good stuff, using the nice silverware and china and dishes, and wearing the either the nice clothes or the comfortable clothes. Hopefully they're the same thing, but hey, everybody's different. It looks like making room in your life for joy. Joy is a quality of God. No matter what is going on in the world, you deserve joy. So make room for it. Okay, that's why I say eat dessert first. Sometimes I literally mean it. Okay, I'm just really dry today. It's been so hot. The rest of the suggestions, along with the practicing on yourself, because you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. The rest of the self-care are basic and simple. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you. Please drink plenty of water. You've seen me drink quite a bit because I'm just really dry today and I don't want to cough. So please drink plenty of fluids. It is hot as blazes out there. The couple of days of thunderstorms that we had while we got an impressive light show, didn't break the heat. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important, and your brain works better when it's well hydrated. If you are going to tackle sacred literature, you need to be a well hydrated, fully working brain. And then, early in your day, bright light, which I clearly haven't gotten because I'm not awake yet. Actually, I'm fairly awake. I just haven't gone and gotten that face full of sun yet. There can be one day where you don't get the face full of sun, but what I'm talking about is the circadian rhythm. Starts with a C. If you want to Google it, it's a natural hormone rhythm. If you get that early in your day bright light, it helps to reset those hormones. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. It's definitely a self-care thing. Try it and Google it. It's one way to help support your natural hormone balance. And then, as always, I'm going to remind you, as I always do, to open the windows of your soul. And I just forgot my quote. I've been saying it for a couple of years now. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay? We all come from the same source. Yeah, I know there's a lot of different sacred literature out there, but it all comes from the same source. It does. Just like we do. Just like everything we look around does. And sometimes you want to look around at your world and go, this is all made from God, and it should rock you back on your heels. And then maybe you'll make a different choice. Or maybe you are content with the choices that you're making and you're going to keep on going the way you are, and that's okay too. You're enough just as you are. Okay? So if you are opening the windows of your soul, and sacred literature is a good way to do it. Reading sacred literature is a good way to open your souls, to put yourself into the places of others and think, wow, if I was in this position, what would I have done? And that's a great way to open the windows of your soul. But you can also take Emma's advice, look for the good and praise it. Gratitude will get you everywhere. So, I don't know what's going on today. Here's the good news, though. Since I don't, you can find out. Email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the Constant Contact. The Constant Contact will then get you access to all of our social media. Creative Life. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I'm the Running Reverence on the social medias that I am on. You can check all that out. I spent yesterday working on my YouTube channel. I'm less than a month behind. Yay! Barely. But I need to catch up because Facebook's messing with me and I don't want to lose any of these videos. I archive them on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. So if you ever want to go back and see what I've been talking about for like 3 years now, you can do that. Go to the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel and you can see when I started this to now. I hope I've grown some. All right. And then I told you about the Constant Contact. So, check that out. We have all kinds of great stuff. If you go to the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel, my favorite playlist on that, and I have a playlist on that, is the Soul Sessions, because there's all kinds of neat stuff on there. So go check that out. And then like and subscribe, and that way when we publish new videos, it'll notify you. So you can go, oh, because there is a new Soul Session playlist up. All right. Where was I going? I don't know. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a Sunday, a take a break day, a go read some sacred literature day, a put yourself in their shoes day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You're enough, just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. Know the truth of your being. All right? That's what we lean on. Know that you are at choice and know the truth of your being. You are a beloved child of God. That is the truth of your being. And from there, you can make a decision. All right. Okay. It's Sunday, so we are going to have an amazing service for you right here on Facebook Live at 11. Reverend David is our speaker today, so that should be amazing. I want to remind you that, and then Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.